This is LTV.
Inside Leominster is brought to you in part through the generous support of N.P. Crowley Company Incorporated and by DeCarolis Insurance Agency Incorporated, DeCarolisinsuranceagency.com, and by Enterprise Bank. Enterprise Bank creates success. EnterpriseBanking.com.
Hello and welcome to Inside Leominster. My name is Dean Mazzarella, Mayor for the city, and well, we're live this afternoon on this Thursday, and I don't know, looking at the storms coming in, and they show, you know, up around Amherst, the western part of the state, these big storms coming at us. And then I just looked at it, and somehow or another, lately they've been just splitting apart, heading towards Worcester and then up to like, you know, Lowell area, up in that area. It's strange. It just kind of splits right apart. So we end up missing them. 978-534-1626. Speaking of never missing anything, let's go to Art from the Art Report. And we got to catch up, Art.
Yes, we do. You know, I've been talking to a lot of people who were listening when we were talking about Tony Bennett and Bobby Rydell passing, etc. And it made me think back to my first concert when I was, I'm guessing, I would say probably between 13 and 15. My older sister took me to it, and it was at Fitchburg City Hall.
Come on.
Fats Domino.
Come on.
Yeah.
Wow.
Antoine Fats Domino. And I'll never forget it. They were 30 minutes late starting the show because they forgot to bring in a microphone. So they went down to a Fitchburg music store, Jerry Martell's, to get an amp, I guess, and microphone equipment.
Yeah.
And then they started the show. And during the show, he said, I just cut a record, and it's going to the top, and I'm going to sing it for you tonight, Blueberry Hill.
Blueberry Hill.
Yeah. And shortly after that, the area picked up. They had a Dick Clark rock and roll show at the Tri-Town. It was Whalen Drive-In, but no, I think it was Tri-Town Drive-In, and the stage was a flatbed, and they had some one-hit wonders and some other folks like that. But the area was starting to warm up to live shows like that, and it was pretty interesting.
It's amazing. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, and then. You could go to Framingham at the DeVille down there. They had a big nightclub.
Chateau DeVille?
Yes. Saw Wayne Newton in his prime. And who else? I'm trying to think. I know there was a bunch more that I can't. I've lost that track. But having said that.
But you didn't lose that love and feeling.
No, because, you know, that's when music was music, I think. I mean, rock and roll, when Elvis first came out, they tried to make him look like a wise guy with his first album. He was twisting and his mouth was open, and he was a rebel, and he was squealing his legs. But that was, even through his entire career, he put on wonderful shows.
Oh, yeah.
He'd sell out places like the Garden.
Absolutely.
You know, and he was a legend in his own right, but unfortunately, other things took over his body, and that was the end of that.
He died a young guy.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. I think he'd still be singing if he hadn't passed at that early age.
We lost all the great ones at a young age.
Oh, I know another one we saw at Fitton Field, which was Holy Cross's football field. Connie Francis.
Wow.
And Fabian.
Fabian?
Yes.
Wow.
Now, that'd be the fourth time. That's the second time I saw him. First time I saw him live, he was in a play at the Whalen Playhouse. And we happened to be over there, and it was like the day before, and you could see through the cracks in the door, and they were rehearsing. And then the 4th of July it was, because Fitchburg had a big parade, and he was in the parade sitting on a convertible. And this was early in his career. I think he had Turn Me Loose, his first hit record, about right around that time. So yeah, there's a lot going on.
Lauren says hello.
Oh, that's my former neighbor, I think.
Yeah,
that's the only Lauren I know.
She just posted and said, "Tell Art I said hi." That's her.
Well, there you go.
So you got fans.
Yeah. Oh, it's never ending. They're at the door in the morning when I wake up.
It's tough.
It is.
Where's our buddy Tom Conroy been?
I saw him. I don't know. It was weeks ago, at the grocery store, pulling in. I just happened to glance to the right. I had to put my sunglasses on because I was getting the glare.
Ooh.
And he was giving me the look. We had a nice conversation. Good guy.
Good. He is a good guy.
Yes, he is. He's got a heart as big as his stomach.
Yes.
I hope he heard that.
I don't know. It's good guy.
Anyway.
All righty, Art.
Oh, if you're going to work,
how's the missus
I was
doing?
at the waste, I brought yard waste to the dump today, and I was talking to a lady there, and she was complaining about what I've been saying. All this heavy rain, the weeds are growing like crazy, or the stuff you would normally pick to make the yard look nice.
That's right.
And, of course, the stuff that I was pointed out by the missus, take this stuff and wrap this up. I had short sleeve shirt on, and oh yes, it was poison oak, and my right arm was covered with it, but it's finally healing up.
Yeah.
So even that stuff is growing.
How's the missus doing?
Not bad, not bad. Went for some consultations last week, met the doctors, and we're just waiting to hear from them now.
Well, good luck.
Thank you very much. I'll pass that on.
Good hands.
Okay.
All right, Art.
Take care.
978-534-1626. That's Art from the Art Report. Joins us every Thursday. Gives us the not man on the run, but man on the street view of what's happening in his life. And well, it's always interesting to talk to Art. He's been on with us for I don't even know how many years, but he's got his own audience. We're going to take a short break. As I said, I don't know. Let me check the radar here. The concert tonight is canceled at Carter Park because of the weather. It's, as I said, these storms start heading this way, and next thing you know, they break in two. Let's see what the radar shows. Yeah, it shows that whatever we had going on went by us, and but still things to come. Still weather to come. It looks like Worcester again. And that area around Providence, Rhode Island, but Worcester and Brockton, looks like they're going to get it Lowell a little bit, but it just glances by us is what happens. All right, taking a short break, and we'll be right back.
We embarrassed ourselves.
Isn't this a fabric
All right. You didn't hold it on with the chamber ribbon too.
Sure.
Yeah, let it put this. Or do you want to do your
Yeah, let's do this.
citation?
We have an official citation. Both. I just want to say local, right? Local Leominstonians. Opening a business here in Leominster. Congratulations, you did a great job. And let's go, everybody. Get in here and start. Fall's coming, the holidays are coming, right?
Absolutely.
This is time. You can't wait for the week before.
That's right.
So congratulations.
Thank you.
All kinds of antiques inside, right?
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely.
So we have cable here. So this is your chance to do a little commercial, tell people where you are.
All right.
Next to Paul's Rental.
Yep, absolutely.
Go ahead. This is your chance.
Hey, so we're a established fabric store, right? We're now at 843 Central Street in Leominster. We were in Fitchburg but this is such a much better location. We have all kinds of new Moda Andover. We have vintage fabric. We have trims, anything that you can
Is
think
this code word for people that do fabric work?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
This, slate.
We have fat quarters.
Ooh.
We have layer cakes.
Now we're getting deep. This is cold.
Jelly rolls. Yeah, all those code words that everybody knows about.
Yeah.
We're also in partner with Nella Teaks. So
Yes, and we do Brimfield. We've set up at Jeffrey's Antique Shop in Lunenburg, and we opened our own here. And we have antiques, antique buttons for the sewing ladies.
and
Cool little tables in there,
beautiful
little cabinet.
featherweights.
Oh yes, featherweights.
in there,
And we have a
ladies, so
white
yeah.
one.
So, yeah, they're down by Paul's, right across from Brooks Pond. Can't miss them. Plenty of parking around here. What are your hours? What are your hours?
10 to 5,
10 to 5.
Wednesday through Saturday,
Would you guys rehearse this?
and 12
Sunday,
to
12 to 5.
And that's they head that way. All right, we're back here at Inside Leominster, and yes, I have my Gallagher Junior High School shirt on, and Ralph Case, my gym teacher, back in the day, notes my gym number on my gym shorts is 306. He's never called me anything else but 306, and so he did a couple of these shirts for me, pretty sharp. See right there, May Gallagher Junior High School. Where does it say 72 down here, right? 1970 to 72. I graduated, just so it's on record. Anyway, we have some guests tonight, and if you're watching, we are live. Concert over at Carter Park is canceled, but our guests tonight are from the Fire Department, Chief Robert Sideleau, Deputy Chief Craig Long, and Firefighter Richard Cormier, who wears 1,001 different hats, right?
Correct.
So they got him here just in case. Is there anything else that we want to talk to about anything? He's here to answer the questions. So
That's correct.
He's the public information officer.
He's that too?
Effective immediately.
just right now,
All right. And the
10
PIO.
minutes ago. So you have to do like the big cities. Like yeah, I'll have to divert this question to public information.
We're going to divert it to Ricky
Yeah,
tonight.
Okay.
On the way here, we took 3 separate cars.
You did.
Yeah, so they were joking. As I pulled in, they were going to drive past. And I said,
off.
if you leave me there by myself, I will volunteer you for everything.
I've had that done to me. I've had this done to me.
So,
It was cold. We had ordered this giant flagpole. It's 175 feet in the air. And I paid extra to have it painted in Texas. And it's like this, the paint is $180 a gallon. So have it primed and painted so when it gets here, and of course by the time people make the decision, it's like the middle of winter. So it gets here, it's all scratched, like destroyed. So the only way to repaint it is to sand it down again by hand. And you've got this thing's like that round, like we could stand inside it. It's to put it on these rollers and then move it slowly around, these rollers that are meant for these big pipes. And we had to go down at like 2 o'clock in the morning to set up heaters on both ends so it would heat the steel so that you could paint it outside. There's no other way to do it. Even if we set up a tent, it would be 175 feet. So you go down, you turn these babies on, those big, you see them on the sidelines of the games and stuff, to heat it up, just so you could get up at the temperature so you could put the first coat on and do this all over again. It was that winter, I forget, like, I don't know how many, like 2015, I think, and it was cold, and the wind. And I just remember my guys, once they got there, this is like near Boston, driving right by. And they never stopped. It was so cold, though. I don't blame them. And I have an appreciation for anybody that has to work on those buildings, those skyscrapers in the middle of winter, anybody that has to jackhammer or fight a fire in the middle of winter. There's just not enough anything that you can get on you, but up on those buildings with the cold just sweeping across.
you earn your money.
It's an appreciation,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, you're out there in the cold,
Yeah.
right? The ice is freezing, you're slipping all over the place. And then when you see those guys, it's the middle of winter, you're like, oh man, that might be worse. That might be worse. Mm-hmm. So thank you guys for not driving by.
We're here.
Yeah. We have so much to talk about. People talk to me about 210 Lancaster Street. They talk to me about that giant brush truck. That kids kept asking me, that big brush truck that you had at National Night Out. Like, what is that thing? That thing's huge. You need a ladder to get up into it. And well, was it last summer with all the fires?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Knock on plastic and paper and wood and everything else. We haven't had that. It's been the other way.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually assisted Sterling. One of the first times we used it was they had a pretty severe brush fire up in the reservoir, in the Wachusett Reservoir.
Mm-hmm.
And we were able to get that truck up there and supply them water and everything. And it was critical to helping them, you know, contain it and put it out. So
The fire we had up at the quarry, the Granite Street quarry,
yeah,
I don't know how to explain it, but if you've ever been up to the quarry, up behind the treatment plant distributing, and then you kind of walk, you know where it is. If you've been up there, you know it. It's got this beautiful panoramic view up at the top of the hill, but it's where all the granite used to come from here in Leominster. And this is like the top of the hill, and they got trucks up there. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what? This is before we got our trucks.
Yeah.
So
did you
I'm amazed.
you can still see the big scar of the burn area from like I-190, and so
I wonder what that was.
Yeah, so it
took down everything, right?
You can
That
actually see it from Spruce Street.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Where the old Hester's, the old Spruce Street Cafe used to be.
Yeah,
right there.
if you look straight ahead.
I did see it.
So that's the big scar of the area that burned.
Wow.
So what happened was with the quarry, all of the crevices were filled with leaves and stuff. So it was like a fire pit.
So what started it? Just
we found evidence of somebody may have lit some fireworks off the night before or something, but it was so dry.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was like a fire pit, like all those stones. It got so hot that I think it killed a lot of the vegetation and trees.
it
and
wouldn't
the roots.
come back. It went down too, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
The guy said it went down.
That's what was so hard was once we stopped it, then we had to just keep putting water to.
But then again, I have a new appreciation after watching people out that and the fire behind Shoalin at the Fallbrook Reservoir. I have a whole new appreciation when I see it on TV, and that's a small sample. That went on for days, but a small sample of when you see like in Maui right now, you see some of the stuff, you're like, you know, it's like if you've never seen a tornado and you didn't see a hurricane hit or something, really, you can't imagine it. And so getting those trucks up there and then looking at the top of the hill and seeing the firefighters up top, I'm like, and dragging the hoses up, I'm like, we're going to be here a long time.
But it shows you the history of why you had to have fire departments way back was to stop those conflagrations from, you know, taking over.
Well, look at Leominster. We built all those beautiful brick buildings, including City Hall, including the fire stations.
Yeah.
And all we had is horse and carriages and farmers to come put out the fire. They figured, let's build them out of brick, they'll never burn. But we did have fires in those brick
town
buildings.
hall,
Did the fire station across the street burn?
Yeah, the one we're in now at 19 Church Street had a serious fire in the attic.
But across the street, wasn't there a fire building there?
There
or
was.
something?
I don't think that burned.
burned?
I think
No.
they just replaced it with across the street.
But it is funny how we built City Hall and like, it's this beautiful brick building burned, you know, early 1900s. And some of the buildings downtown, and now obviously we have, you know, fire alarm systems and smoke detectors, and chances are if you can get to it quick enough,
Sprinkler system.
you're in good shape. Caller, welcome to the show. Hello.
Crystal.
Hey, Crystal. Everybody knows Crystal. What's going on, Crystal?
I see those guys in Hannaford a lot.
You see these guys there? Well, they got to eat, you know. They're at the stations around the clock, and sometimes people get upset because the fire trucks park out front, but
they have to.
how else? I guess when you get drones, maybe that's the only thing you can do it. But people sometimes will complain. They'll say, I don't understand why the fire department has to go, and they, you know, on city time, they have to go shopping. I said, well, because they're at the station all the time, like 3 shifts. So, and it's good public relations, too.
Yeah.
Be inside.
Those people are few and far between.
Yeah, they're not.
Most of the
Mark
people.
came back from his vacation today.
You tell Mark that he deserved a vacation down there. He's the manager there, and he's good to us. And he deserved a vacation. Did he go anywhere special?
He said he went up to Maine.
He went to see if the coast was clear?
Yeah.
That's a joke.
Let me go ask him that. I'll
Yeah,
ask
tell him
immediately.
that. Yeah, when you see him, say, did you go see if the coast was clear?
Yeah, I'll talk to you later, buddy.
All right, see you later.
Bye.
And so, yeah, but this year, knock on wood, you know, looking at the weather for the last 3 or 4 years, it's been warm and dry right through the fall.
Yeah.
This year is like total opposite so far, and let's hope that's the case, because I remember we had that very dry summer, and all of a sudden they decided to do construction up at the top of Elm Street in September. Deluge. You know, they must have thought, well, it's just, what a perfect time to open up that hill. And then, whoa, wasn't pretty. If you have any questions, 978-534-1626.
So today the district scuba diving team, which is comprised of communities around Fitchburg, Lunenburg.
Yep.
They did a drill in Whalum, so we went up with the field comm unit, and Ricky and Craig set up the drone. And we were able to live stream the video into the new communications center.
Back to the new 10210?
Yeah.
From the drone.
From the drone.
Wow.
So now when we have an incident, we set up the drone, the dispatchers will be able
Probably
to
watch it from your phone at that particular point.
Okay.
So-
Let's talk about it. So 210 Lancaster Street, also known or formerly known as Lancaster Street School, then the Plastics Museum, then we're going to use it as a police station. That didn't work out, and then Chief said, I have an idea. Usually when you hear that, it's like, okay. And then tell us what happened after that, because it was your idea.
So we came up with the idea of, we were limited for space downtown, dispatch was old.
No handicap accessibility.
No handicap accessible and everything. So when we saw the building was if we moved the administrative offices down at fire prevention, chief's office, training, and dispatch, it would give more room for the crews downtown, which turned out to be great because now the paramedics,
That's
have
right.
moved
Now
in.
they have a room.
So it's plenty of room for them. So between all of us and the few members that have worked there is we come up with the idea to put dispatch, and solidified it with yourself and the wire department guys, Joe Puri and his crews, CJ, Ricky with IT. They couldn't have done it without them. They're the ones that actually did the labor.
So a lot of the work you did yourselves.
Yeah, we had the ideas. We don't know what we're talking
Yeah,
about.
I'm good at that. I have an idea.
Me and Craig go, we got an idea. And
I don't even know how to hold a hammer. Yep.
but there's a lot of truth to it was, we had the ideas and we'd meet with you in the city and stuff, but those are the guys that built.
So now it's described the building because it's multifunctioning, not just offices.
So there's 4 floors. The basement, we have breathing apparatus, air compressors down there.
And you fill them.
Fill them with the air when we have a
They come in
fire.
the little side door, go right down, fill your
Correct.
tanks.
Brand new compressor that we bought. Got it out of downtown. It's in a climate controlled atmosphere now, away from the hose and diesel smoke from the fire trucks. So that's on the first floor. A lot of storage, a lot of future use down there. First floor is administrative offices for the fire chief and fire prevention wire department. We have a beautiful foyer, a nice conference room. We store our EMS supplies there, and we have a mock-up of a single-family home where
Yeah,
we
I see
can
that. Yeah, that's cool.
train on.
So now you got your own place. Like, what's it like to go into a building? It's
Yep.
dark. You got bedrooms and kitchens and all that, but you can't see. You got your own lights and everything, but that's good
Yeah,
training.
the plastic museum is actually painted black. Ceiling was black. We didn't really have to do anything.
Not in that area. You didn't have to
Yeah.
do a thing.
Then the second floor is the front area is Craig's and Ricky. They set up shop there, which is a big, beautiful. We describe it as it's like our small classroom, training, officer's office, IT.
I went in one day and they were training.
Yeah, oh yeah. We can run classes at about 12 individuals, and Lieutenant Cameron's in there, and we have a dispatch console so that we could actually have an emergency in Leominster, and yourself and myself and other officials could get in there and
And now you can watch the drone.
and watch the
That's
drone.
amazing.
Yeah. On that floor, we have a gymnasium that we use state grant money for, and it's outfitted nice for all the members. And then the main part of the second floor is the communications center.
Yeah, let's talk about that because police was in the police building, and dispatch for the fire department was in that rare room that every time you started a truck or something.
Yeah.
I mean, it was different. It was nice in its day.
Oh,
but
yeah. So
it had outgrown.
little research is around 1956. They went to a full-time fire dispatcher. Before that was when you pulled the hook, it would blow the whistles.
That was it.
And the firemen working in the station would look at the address and then respond. You know.
And then people would go to your
Yep.
calendar.
Yeah, and see where.
Look it up and see what the box is, and that's where it was, and they'd beep. Wah, wah.
So around 1956, they built the dispatch center, the fire alarm we call it, in the back, and at the time it was state of the art, and it served the city well for.
Yeah, what do you do with that now? That's historic.
I know.
Can't get rid of that.
Yeah, a lot of history in there.
I don't know. Is there a place to put those things?
One night you and Craig were in there working.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Craig needed help and you ran across the.
Well, you know,
We won't disclose.
I was saying before that I couldn't hold a hammer. Like, I'm
Yeah.
good at ideas, and that some people are good. And it immediately made me think of the story that they were going to have a concert at City Hall. I don't remember what it was, but there were a lot of people that were part of the orchestra. And I don't know if it was something special going on. I don't remember, but Mayor Richie Gerard was the mayor. And so they said, well, we can't fit everybody here on the stage. If you walk into City Hall and look at the stage someday, you'll see that it was added on.
Okay, yeah.
So Richie Gerard went home, got his tools, and because remember, at the beginning of his tenure, he was still ran Imperial Auto Body. He was part-time. He wasn't full-time at the time. So he's running back and forth from City Hall to Imperial. So that weekend, this is before the concert, he went home, got his tools, and built the stage extension at City Hall so the whole orchestra could fit on it. Isn't that a good story?
It is. Wow.
But you know him, and that's
Yeah,
the way
yeah.
it was.
No.
He's like, oh, no, okay,
He
I'll
was
take care of that.
hands-on, yeah.
Yeah, he was.
He really
and
was.
So he went home, got, within a matter of a couple of days, got all the lumber line. And remember, it's curved.
Yeah.
And if you look real closely, you can see it. But they ran electricity out and plugs and all that
Wow,
stuff.
I
It's
never
pretty
knew
cool.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that story because
Yeah.
every time I think of a hammer, I think, oh, Richie Gerard heading home, heading home, get his tools, come back. Next thing you know, he's got a stage extension. No problem, right?
Yep.
That's a man that gets things done. So
on the dispatch.
yeah, go ahead, keep
one of the
going
things
because we
that's
got a
gone
big
through-
building.
But can you imagine in the 70 years
No.
the calls for service into that room, reporting the big historical fires in Leominster or the life that was saved by the
files,
dispatchers
house
talking someone on
fires.
how to do CPR and stuff?
Just
Yeah.
unthinkable. That's why you can't get rid of that console. You got to do something.
Yeah.
With it. Must
So-
be a place for it somewhere.
So, Bill Bergman and Fred Fournier and Chief Johnson, I mean, that was their baby, and they did an awesome job. So anyway, the city's grown so much and everything we took the rest of the second floor and we combined police with fire, which
Right,
is...
we did a little segment here on cable.
Yeah, so obviously that's what the state 911 committee wants and everything. But just we went June 1st we went live, so just a little over 2 months. It's fantastic.
It's
how it's
fascinating
running.
to see that. Like I said,
yeah.
going from the old days of the old teletype machines at the police department and the boxes coming in, it's just... We're watching Inside Leominster, and our phone number is 978-534-1626. If you want to chime in, that's fine. And Chief Sideleau's here, Deputy Chief Long, and Richie Cormier, firefighter and extraordinaire on everything. He's an electrician. He's an IT guy. What doesn't he know? Is there anything he doesn't know? And
He tells me what I don't know every day.
He's on this contract where he can't retire because we don't know what we're going to do when he does.
Yeah.
But we're
Actually,
talking
I'm
about that.
going to have him talk about the third floor.
Let me just
when
in
you
case
get
you
it.
jumped in, it's 4:33 in the afternoon. Just in case you jumped in, we're talking about that building across from St. Anna's Church, across from St. Anna's School. It's the old Lancaster Street School. Maybe somebody just jumped in and we're talking about it, and they don't like. What are they talking about? That's what we're talking about. So yes.
So a little trivia. Ricky's first job for the city was in high school and just out. He worked in the fire alarm division as a civilian employee for Bill Bergman and Joe Poria.
What year was that?
1986.
1986.
Yeah. He helped run the wire for Doyle Field
I think I remember
light
this.
post.
The sensor to turn the walking track lights on.
Well, you were either going to stay with it, or then you picked up on it and said, "Let me take the test."
Yeah, he's got
There's a story to that.
Yeah, he's trying to.
What, taking the test?
Well, Ricky's first communication on a fire department radio was he was down there pulling some wires, and he seriously got zapped
Yeah.
and had to call for help.
Really?
And,
So you got electrocuted?
Been like this ever since.
Yeah.
No, but you got
10
electrocuted.
days after I started for the city, I got
Oh, yeah.
electrocuted.
You can write a book.
Yeah, I know.
So somebody else may have went out disabled back then, but 40 years later, he's still pulling cable.
See that? We knocked some sense into you.
That's
Now he wishes he drove by.
yeah, pretty much. Where's the door to leave?
Don't worry, we won't be asked back again.
I don't know. I don't know if you guys can find a clip of the dispatch area quick enough. If you can't, don't worry about it back there. But it is. I am. My mind's boggling.
Yeah.
I go in
It's
there.
worked out so well. I mean,
It's like a
everything.
airline traffic control unit in there.
Yeah.
And there's monitors and cameras, and it's fascinating. And the information, you know, we were talking last week about dispatches. The whole business is a profession in and of itself now. And just no more. You sit down. There's a phone. They teach you how to use the You know, there are some basic things. 'Cause we have much technology, even 30, 40 years ago. So it was, okay, you do this, you do this, you do that. Okay, you're trained. Today, that's not the case.
Yeah.
And it's just a beautiful operation. It's the lighting, the colors in the building, and the technology is just absolutely
And then
amazing.
working with the police dispatches, we're creating a great bond,
Right.
and
Yeah. Help each
the
other out.
information is coming across the floor so quick.
And a lot of the work, the field work, that already gets started from the person that answers the phone, right? What's
Correct.
going on? Somebody calls, you know, they're giving you information. That dispatcher's going to get that related to you. Mobile data terminals in the trucks, you're already looking up, is there any hazardous material inside the building? You're already laying out, right? I mean, information you have on your own personal knowledge, but also what's stored in our database.
Yeah, because especially a lot of times too is there's common street names. Some are streets, some are Ave, and Graham. So they're actually getting the printout on the computer so that they can, you know, see. You know, my pronunciation of Grand may sound like Graham, but they'll actually see that it's you know.
Yeah, so you're going to the right place.
Yeah,
I remember a lot of times.
Oh, we've had,
we went to the wrong.
boy, and is that a sick feeling in your
Or
stomach
Grand
when you
View Street, Van U. We had a lot of those. Sylvan
Grant,
Terrace,
Grant.
Sylvan Ave. So we have a lot of those.
transpose the numbers in your mind a lot, so you dispatch to 41 and you're stopping at 14 because you know you're nervous.
Sure. So there's like
everything.
kind of a checks and balance.
Yeah.
So that dispatch is there. It's expandable in case cities and towns in the area want to join in. And then upstairs, which was really a donation by Louise Doyle at the time. Go ahead and talk about that. It's a beautiful
Yeah,
center.
so the third floor is a big open conference center, open beams. That's where we do our main training. Can hold probably at least 100 people up there. And you know, we have there's a library on the left side we use that now for a museum. We're building it up as a fine museum with all old artifacts and books and the chief and people had. And then we have another little area on the other side. But it's a great place. You know, we've held meetings, the city's held meetings there.
Plenty of times.
You know,
good training, good meeting space.
Today they started the installation of that front window.
Oh yeah, so I'm over there today. It's going to look nice.
Oh, it's going to be beautiful.
They got it all taken out. It looks
It's going to look really nice.
Yep.
All right, I don't want to, and that's just that's full use of that building.
Yeah, definitely.
And total, what do you think we have into that building? I mean, first of all, the museum put in about $2 million into elevators and taking out bearing walls. So a lot of that was done. And then and a lot of the work that was done by city workers in different departments. What do you figure total we have into it with dispatch?
So doing the building itself, which is all new windows and heating system, was the rebates that we got, like all the lights. We just had to do the labor. And, you know, so, I mean, it's got to be $1 million worth of investment in there, but it didn't cost the city $1 million.
Right.
And then the dispatch center we're probably up $1.25 million. but again, some of that was grant
Paid
money.
for by Verizon or whatever.
Yeah. You know, so I mean, if there's $2 million, $2.5 million that we can account for, it probably would have been at least double
At
or
least.
triple
You
that.
would've- If you had to build that today, you'd be talking $20 million
That's just
to
for
build
the,
it.
yeah.
That's just the infrastructure we're talking
Yeah.
about.
And still then you wouldn't get a big, training room out of it. You
No,
wouldn't get a
no.
lot of
Correct.
what's in it. So
So I mean, the cost for the resident and everything, and what actually
it's minimal.
is yes.
Now, a big thing, and I say this over and over and over and over, is I knew once we had our own paramedics, it would make a difference. I just didn't fully appreciate or understand the magnitude of the difference that paramedics make.
It's I actually stopped at 2 calls on my way home last night. They were in my neighborhood, and just watch them in action is phenomenal.
And all our firefighters, just so everyone knows, you cannot be a firefighter in Leominster unless you're an EMT. But there are differences between what an EMT can do. And remember, they all work together, whether it's the firefighter on the truck that pulls up, or the EMT or the dispatcher, whoever it is, they're all trained. But there is a difference. There are things that a paramedic can
When
do.
you reach the level of paramedic, I mean, your profession is you're the medicine,
Right.
And you're running heart monitors, you're administering drugs.
That you can't do as EMT.
No, as an
right?
EMT,
Advanced
basically
first aid
everything
kind of
we
thing.
can do with
Right.
your hands is what we can do as an
Right.
EMT.
Right.
Although
Which is still a lot, but still.
is a lot. But working with the paramedics, our guys are learning how to diagnose or read people's symptoms, not diagnose them, but they can tell now better when someone is sick, by
What's going on, the
their skin
symptoms.
color and their symptoms.
Right.
We're taught
Because that's
all
what
that.
they do all the time.
Yeah, but the paramedic level and the paramedics that we hired are, they're all experienced. And I mean, they're working with the doctors in the emergency room. They help train young doctors, our medics.
Right.
And when they look at a heart monitor and they could tell someone's having a STEMI, and we can get the person down to UMass and whisk her right into the cath lab
Without going to the
within
hospital.
minutes instead of, a couple hours. People are walking out of there 2 days later or that night, with a stint or they're corrected. And it's all because of the ALS service.
It's amazing.
I don't know if Craig wants to.
Yeah.
No, they like the chief was saying, they bring our EMTs up another level, where we don't always dispatch them. There's some BLS calls, ALS calls, but the BLS calls, they're even noticing when they get there if it's a worse call. So they radio back to have the medic
they're
show
already here, why
up, which
not
we
send
would
them to a
never,
basic?
have
Yeah.
been able to do before.
And there's the other thing is if people see, they may see an engine company, and then now the paramedics, and then an ambulance, a rescue, and then maybe a police cruiser. So typically if somebody calls and says not breathing or something serious, all those people are going to go. But we're talking life-saving. So understand, it's like, why do they have to send all those people? Well, first of all, you don't know what you're getting. You get a call, but you don't know the total circumstances. Right. Sometimes it's a large
position that
person,
the patient is, yes.
position they're in, the floor that they're in.
Yep.
Sometimes there's hallways that are clogged with debris. Maybe there's a door that's not working and haven't used it in years. Maybe the person's in the basement. Maybe they're in the attic. How many times did you go to a top floor with somebody's...
Yeah.
So all of those things are the unknowns until you get there. So we already have the people. If we don't
we're all
know the
on duty.
circumstances,
Yeah.
why
And
not send them?
The other benefit that we're having with that is when you go with 2 people on the ambulance, you're busy with the patient.
Right.
Now that the officer is there with the engine, we're finding people that are in need, that we actually reach out to your office and other
Yes.
social services. We've been able to help a lot of people that were needy, but just didn't have a way of getting the help.
Right.
And our
They
officer
kinda-
will write a report, and we send it to city officials.
It goes to
health
social
department,
workers, our
social
police
workers.
department.
Yep.
It goes to everybody. Now it's a coordinated effort
Yep.
to
Yep.
how do we get this person some
We've had
help?
some great successes
Oh,
of helping some.
It is life-saving in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
And why wait for somebody to, that might be mentally ill or having some problems, emotional, social, whatever it might be. Why wait until it gets worse? Why not be able to help them early stages, right? Help get them some help. Anyway, we're, let's see, what's that say? 17 minutes left. You see it up there?
I do.
They even give me the hook. 17 minutes left. Knock it off.
This is like the new dispatch, the big clock.
Yeah,
up
look
top.
at this
I
place.
know.
Well, it's technology, and technology is really, allowed us to and helped us to do our jobs better than ever. And predictability, right? I mean, you didn't have all these MSN charts that you have, the chemical stuff inside the buildings. And by the way, I got a call one day. I don't know, was it Beverly or Peabody, whatever was that company that used to be down?
Oh, yes, yeah.
And I was coming back from a meeting in Boston. I don't remember what time of day it was. And they're like, yeah, we're on Home Hill Ave. And I'm like, yeah, what's going on? Like, the roof blew off the place. And I remember the guy saying, the way they designed it is, if there was ever an explosion, the roof would come off the building.
Yeah.
And it did.
It did.
But they apparently had other problems wherever they located and similar sort of situations that didn't end up so good. But that's the kind of knowledge. You know, I realized once I was sitting with a big city police fire department, and they never really responded to industrial accidents. They did other kinds of things, mostly of an office, skyscrapers, that kind of thing. And then I realized how much experience our department had with, these industrial accidents, which we have fewer and fewer of now. But at one time, it was very common to have quite a few industrial accidents in the course of a year.
Well, when they used to actually make the plastic in Leominster, the chemicals that were used were very volatile.
Yeah.
So the firemen of the 40s, 50s, 60s,
Sure.
all of their knowledge that they passed on to us and stuff, and then a lot of the machines.
The
machines.
How do you shut a machine off,
Yeah,
right?
now they have all safety devices and stuff, but
at one time, there was a lot
we
of...
used to get quite a few fires from hydraulic hoses on molding machines that would spray. Now they're all, wrapped in metal and stuff like that, but that's how a lot of the factory fires started.
So the paramedics, you got 2 more coming in next January?
No, we just got the...
Are you full now?
We're one short. One. There's one more in January.
So that'll come over the next 6 months, and then you'll be fully 24/7.
So we're 24/7 now, 2 of them, but we're going to add that 8th one, so they pick up the slack. The other 7. So each group has 2 and one has 1. But
let's talk about the safety net bracelet program, because we were talking about it, and then we thought we had some new technology and then that didn't kind of work its way out. But I don't know, Ricky was kind of leading that effort.
Yeah,
so talk about that. In fact, just the other day you had a call. We get quite a few calls for missing kids and people. In fact, I'm trying to think, somebody put out a missing report for a gentleman in, I thought, Marlboro, somewhere around there recently. And I'm not sure if they've found them or not yet. But tell us how that works.
Yeah, so we have a tracking device that works on RF, radio frequency, and it broadcasts from miles low. So you put the sensor on. It's a
like
one-time
a little wrist thing.
Yeah, wrist thing. It's just
yeah.
It's white, goes on. You can't take it off once you cut it off. So it's on there. And every 6 months you change the battery. And if they get lost, wander away, they give us a call, and we can track them down.
So this might be good for a person that's early set dementia or Alzheimer's, autism, anybody that has those experiences where maybe they get forgetful, or a lot of times they just have that episode where everything was going good, but all of a sudden, things changed, and it's free of charge.
Yeah, the city, through your office has purchased a few of these. And so they're free of charge. Just reach out to the mayor's office or the fire department, and we can provide one to you, to your loved one. But like I said, the other day we had a missing child, 5-year-old, and one of our lieutenants put it up this week, and we went there yesterday and put a watch on him. Reached out to the mom, and she didn't know about the program, and so now, because he actually, while we were there outside, he actually ran down the street away from us.
And that can happen.
That's what happened. So he has a watch now, and
bracelet.
I'm sorry, a bracelet. They used to be a watch, but there was a problem with that technology, so they went back to the bracelet. And but it's proven. It's safety net. They've been using it everywhere in Massachusetts, and it's within minutes. Usually, you can.
I remember that guy taking us for.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
And other like the state police carry the devices too.
Yeah.
So if we
Mr.
have somebody
County.
missing, we can call in.
Oh, and they can help.
Help.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Correct.
Yeah, they have it in their air wing, so that if they put the helicopter up,
Wow.
they can.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Within seconds, they have an idea which direction
Right.
is
So they can get
that
closer
tracker,
and
it's
go
a
out
certain
there.
frequency, and they go find that frequency.
Well, that's a lot.
So
Lot
it is.
going on
Yeah.
at the FD, and we'll get you on again. Is there anything I forgot that's coming up? Is 10-year? I mean, that program with the Red Cross went well.
Yeah,
They
correct,
came in
yeah.
and put I don't know how many of those smoke detectors in,
did a
but we're
lot.
getting to be that time of the year where fall's going to hit us, and people start with the wood stoves and all of that, and they're inside and they're
Furnaces.
painting and get rid of those old smoke detectors. They make ones with 10-year batteries in them now. You know.
So just before coming down, we have a new state fire marshal, and every year they send out the regulations and recommendations for school safety. So in fire department, we've been working with the police and emergency management director, Arthur, and on all aspects of school safety.
Right.
So that time of the year, kids will be going back to school.
Know
and-
your kids are safe. I mean,
Yeah.
we've got a plan. We don't share
Yeah.
some details, or we don't get real into the details, but just so you know, everybody works really closely together on.
This summer, we sent Lieutenant Cameron and police officer went to a 40-hour full week of
Wow.
Training.
Training for school safety, and we train together more. We're having tabletop exercises. The field communication unit with the drone
It's
and
all
everything.
important.
It's
People
all
don't think it's
at
going
all
to happen
places.
or whatever, but if
yeah.
things happen, you better be ready, because the last thing the public wants to see is disorganization,
No,
and
yeah.
no one knows the right hand or the left, and it doesn't. Well, thank you guys. I'm going to have you on again.
Thank you.
And Chief Robert Sideleau and Deputy Chief Craig Long and Firefighter Cormier. And we got a call. Caller, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I got a text from a close friend today saying that the birthing center has been saved. Do you have any comments on that? Or?
Well, I was going to throw that in there. No, but Department of Public Health issued it's all over the news today, issued a report, which I think Wendy put in here.
Yes, it says it's an essential service.
That's what they're saying, but they're asking for more information. They haven't made a final decision yet, but they are asking questions, and one of them is about ambulance service availability, which many times is going to be us, and transporting and medical control, equity.
If you've got to transfer people all the way to Worcester, then that leaves the city without an ambulance.
Yeah, and some of those babies are going to be born in the ambulance,
Right.
And so they issued and they did it. I'll tell you, they sat there the whole night, which is not easy to sit there, and everybody's is very passionate and emotional about it. But they sat there through the whole night, and they submitted this document, which is like 6 or 8 pages. They did a fabulous job, and they're asking for more information from them.
A lot of information.
Did you read through this
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah.
It's not window dressing, I can tell you that. It's pretty extensive. They want to know what the impacts are, travel times to alternative service delivery. One of the things they said is, well, you can go to Henry Haywood, or you can go to Emerson, or you can go, well, I know, but what if you live in Ashby or Ashby State Road, or Alpine Road in Fitchburg, or Williams Road, or Elm Street in Leominster, and you want me to tell somebody head to Emerson, or?
Well, the thing is, Gardner was looking to join the UMass Memorial System, and somehow it didn't work out last year. So they would have probably been the first one to close instead of us. But I think it's a matter of time that they were going to pick on everybody. So and I know how many ambulances go there, because I listened to my scanner. And, you might be quiet for an hour or so, and then all of a sudden you get 4 or 5 ambulance calls in Leominster alone within an hour.
But yes, good point. But no, it hasn't been saved, but it is a very detailed request for additional information, and they hit right on all of the important issues that we spoke to that night, from us and the public and people in the field and nurses and elected officials. It's exactly the kinds of things that we were pointing out.
Well, we still got 5 weeks to fight it before they close it, basically.
This is true.
Yeah. Now, one more question.
Yes.
Kind of a stupid question, maybe. I don't know. Who's in charge of maintaining the Leominster side of the Twin City Rail Trail?
The Leominster side?
Yeah. And the reason why I ask is because a lot of people like myself have allergies to ragweed and goldenrod, and when I go over the rail trail on Battle Street to go pick up a customer on Trolley Lane, which is twice a day, pick them up and bring them home, I see that the ragweed seems to be taller than me. And people are breathing that stuff when they're jogging, riding, or walking on the rail trail. And I don't know if that was something we were going to be maintaining.
We do. We go out. We hired a private contractor to go out, I think, 5 feet on either side. And then we have somebody that is part-time maintenance that goes around. But I'll check it out. I've been down that end recently, but I'll check it out. But they have a strip that they're responsible for maintaining.
I see. I know that I see some landscape companies plowing it during the wintertime. And sometimes
that too.
They get that plowed better than the town roads in Pittsburgh and Leominster because you get out there faster, I guess. But, it all comes out the same. But it's nice to see it being maintained so people can use it because sometimes the roads are a lot narrower when there's snowbanks.
Correct.
Okay, very good.
All right. Take care. Be well. All right, guys. Thank you. We'll get you on again in the fall sometime. And we're going to take a short break, and then we're coming back with 6 minutes left here at Inside Leominster. I think we got photos of the way. I don't know. We got a lot to talk about in 6 minutes. We'll see if we can pull this off. We're back here at Inside Leominster. Dean Mazzarola is my name, Mayor for the city, and let's get some slides going if we can, and we'll try to do this in a couple of minutes. Let me go back here. There we go. There's as of today's cases, 14,579 tested, 1,000 people testing positive, 8 deaths, 1 is too many, 200 new cases in Worcester County. At the very bottom, we're at about 3 per 7 days. It's Duran Duran Appreciation Day. It's Herbert Hoover Day, National Connecticut Day, National Dean Day, for everybody named Dean, thank you. National S'mores Day, and National Spoil Your Dog Day. Every dog gets spoiled every day. By the way, if you're looking to see any of the concerts of the Colonial Band, they're on the Education Channel, which is which channel?
Channel 34.
34, thank you. Channel 34. So it's not on this channel, right? It's on Channel 34.
You know,
okay.
I'm so bad at this.
What?
It might be 32.
32.
It's on one of our channels.
It's okay. Anyway, it's National Spoil Your Dog Day. Let's give you some updates as to some of the activities that are happening. This weekend is tax-free weekend, and also it is the beer garden. So we took all those beer garden, all those craft brewers around the state, we brought them under one place, right downtown on the Common. 3 to 7, you can buy tickets at the door. This coming Saturday, the 12th. Concert tonight is canceled at Carter Park. We have the new tip line, 411. Pictures of the weeks. Here we go. I never know what they are. Swearing in of Brandon Donahue, new police officer here in the city of Leominster. We're going to be doing 3 new police officers come Monday. How's that? Look at this thing. It is amazing to see a water tank being built. But this is the new water tank up there on Manusnack Hill. It's just like a huge, I don't know, erector set. It's amazing. And Leominster Recreation Department's Flamingo program, great program. I was at the Spanish Center today that they use in St. Cecilia's, and they're making ice cream. Leominster Rec Department Sunshine Bunch kept a lot of kids busy today. The Italian Fest, I cannot say enough about it. There's not enough time, but what a well-attended, just a fun event. People, you could tell, haven't seen each other pre-COVID for years. People are bumping into each other, and so it was like this giant reunion. So a lot of fun, and thank you to all different various city departments that helped. Thanks to our committee. We'll talk more about it next week, but we had a fantastic committee. Classic Leominster legends. Look at them all. And you know what? These guys set up the tents. They took them down. They broke the tables down. They were absolutely amazing. And there we are. Another great day for Leominster. And a little stop at one of our lemonade stands here in the Leominster, supporting those future entrepreneurs. And this is, I had to get rid of the spot where they want reserved for the mayor. It's too dangerous to pull out of there. So we had it. That's actually cement, and then they stamp it. So I have a little spot where people can sit and employees can sit if they want. And going to put a little butterfly garden out there. So pretty cool. Work continues on the Willow Street water line. Tug of war, police versus fire and mayor at National Night Out. That was fun. We got to do that again. My dream is to have Leominster-Fitchburg the day before the game, tug of war over the Nashua River. Whoever loses is going in. And National Night went excellent. Starburst, National Night Out, and the Italian Fest all in 1 week. And congratulations to Angela Wallace and Carl Piamarini for being Citizens of the Year. Everyone's still talking about all these wonderful events, and just a minute left to go. And yes, we were busy, and we captured a lot of it here on film, and we'll be sharing that with you. But it was just a busy week for everybody. But you know what? All our departments got together, volunteers, our office, DPW, Forestry Department, Parks and Rec, Police Department, Emergency Management. Everybody just gets together and puts these things on, and everybody kind of has a piece of it. They know what to do. They make it easy on us, and they make it so that we can have these events. When we're blocking off downtown. The one thing I'll say is, the one thing we learned is we need to provide more handicapped parking. That worked out really well for the Italian Fest. And when we have the opening, we're going to have the opening the 26th of August over at the new police station. Now, if we need to expand the hours or run a little longer, we'll get everybody through. But one thing I will bring up at the meeting that we have on Monday, I think it's Monday or tomorrow Monday, is the need for an area that we can reserve for people that have handicap pockets or have a need to be able to park closer. They can get in and take the tour. So we are 10 seconds left. I want to thank you and the crew here at Inside Leominster for watching. And our new newsletter for Senior Center is available at City Hall. We're done. Good night. God bless you. Remember, the world is run by those who show up. Thank you for showing up. Good night.
Inside Leominster is brought to you in part through the generous support of N.P. Crowley Company Incorporated and by DeCarolis Insurance Agency Incorporated, DeCarolisInsuranceAgency.com, and by Enterprise Bank. Enterprise Bank creates success. EnterpriseBanking.com.
This is LTV.